Welcome back to another episode of the Steebee Weebee Show. We have a very special guest tonight. Please welcome artist and comedian Kevin Christy. Thanks for coming, man.
Can I tell you that I found the piano thing to be legitimately beautiful?
Thank you. That's why you're here.
There was so much pain in it.
There's pain in this room.
I
all
wish
the time.
I could play the piano so
I
bad.
can't even play. I play the same shit every week. I just switch up the melodies.
So
and
you
chord,
just taught? But wait, did you take piano lessons?
No.
No?
No, Bobby has. Because Bob has played at the piano in the main room. Isn't there a piano in the main room?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know. No, I wish I would take piano lessons. Like, I'd be down for that.
Dude, it's legit beautiful instrument.
It's beautiful.
Like, beautiful
it's
instrument.
fucking whatever.
Yeah.
Like, no matter, like, you just learn that part. But if you hit it right, you're just like, why do I feel so bad all of a sudden?
Yeah.
Like, it's painful.
It's a sad instrument.
It's a sad
I
instrument.
love it, though. I love it.
It's wonderful.
I love the way you came in. You came in charging with the skateboard. Can we just get right into your art?
Go ahead.
Wait
a minute. Was the piano in here when you got this place?
Money Mark.
Money Mark
gave it
to
Money
me.
Mark gave me that. I mean, I'm not just saying that. He actually did.
Oh, okay.
He had like 8 keyboards in Dave Cho's warehouse, and he's like, "Hey, he's like, do you want?" I'm like,
yeah.
He's like, "Here." Fuck. And I didn't know he was gonna bring it over that night. He had a whole, like 4 people just lug it in here.
Money Mark was at the Comedy Store one time.
Yeah.
And he was there with Tommy Guerrero.
Oh yeah.
And I legitimately scared Tommy Guerrero because I was about to go on stage, right?
Yeah.
Tommy Guerrero's walking in. I see him and I'm like,
yeah.
I literally just go, ah!
Yeah.
Like that. Like I basically pointed a fake gun at this poor gentleman who's a legend. And he was just like, ah! And I was like, you're awesome. And then I went on stage and just, he was like right here.
Were you in your head?
Dude, I only checked on him the whole time.
Of course.
I would tell a joke, they'd laugh, and I'd be like,
Did you think of like flashbacks of Animal Chin searching for Animal Chin?
I want to be like, I had your board. I had the sticker.
Oh.
I have the reissue.
Oh, we jammed with him.
Fuck.
How nervous do you think I was?
Dude.
We were legit having like a band practice, and he was on the guitar, and I was like I had to come up with lyrics on the spot. Fuck. I'm like, what am I doing here with this Tommy Guerrero?
That guy's about the most legit dude of all time.
Oh, dude, for sure. But you're pretty damn legit yourself, Kevin.
I'm all right.
Look at what you did.
I'm all right.
Explain what we're looking at.
That is a Toy Machine deck.
Yeah.
I did a series for Toy Machine. I don't remember how long ago it was.
Yeah.
And it's called the Peeping Toy series. So it's all Toy Machine characters, like Turtle Boy at the bottom. He's the Toy Machine character.
Yeah, that's dope.
And it's all Toy Machine characters basically watching people fuck.
Yeah. Did Ed come up with, didn't he come up with?
He came up with all the characters.
Okay, Ed Templeton?
Yeah, Ed Templeton came up with all the characters. And it's like, when you do, like I've done a couple series for them, and it's important to put the characters in them because that, helps the sales, whatnot.
Is there like a Crumb influence?
Anytime you crosshatch or do black and white or use dots.
Oh, it's cross-hatching. Okay, gotcha.
You can look a little like Crumb.
It's beautiful.
I love
regardless.
Crumb, don't get me wrong.
Yeah. Crumb.
If I had money, I'd buy a Crumb right now.
Have you seen his documentary? Mm-hmm. It's one of my favorite.
Dude, that shit's mind-blowing.
His brother.
Dude, I think they're both dead.
Well, explain to the viewer what the Crumb
documentary. I think it was 1995. Robert Crumb, probably the most famous independent underground comic book artist of all time. Mm-hmm. He came up with the Keep On Truckin' guy. Mm-hmm, that's a big one. Mm-hmm. And he's an amazing underground comic book artist. There's a documentary about him that shows him in the process of moving to the south of France. He trades a box of sketchbooks for a house.
That's right. To get a whole house.
A whole house in France.
Yeah.
And he's moving, and you just kind of see his world and his, like, incredibly strange family.
And what about his brothers?
His brothers
the one in
are
Frisco
both.
Who's
they're both in Frisco, I think.
A nail of bed. Like
slept on a bed of nails, ate a paper towel.
Yeah.
To help his digestion.
Yeah.
And then the other brother who doesn't have teeth that still lives with their mom, who's just there. I think they both killed themselves.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
I know the older one definitely killed himself.
I kind of think the younger one did too.
He did.
Well, dude, I mean, the story about when he just pulled down a woman's shorts in a liquor store.
Oh yeah,
you're just like, I watched it again recently, and you're just like, oh fuck.
Or do you think it's a disability,
totally, yeah.
like a mental problem?
There's obviously some very specific mental things going on in the Crumb family. Yeah, obviously that a disjointed relationship with her father.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know what the mom's trip was.
As well?
I don't know about the sister.
I know the mom was a cat mom. They had a bunch of cats and everything.
Yeah, I mean, also Crumb just carrying around a gigantic penis.
Yeah,
that fucked with him.
Yeah, he was a very interesting guy.
But he's brilliant, man.
He's great, dude. He's up there for me. I mean.
Oh no, dude, he's one of the greats of all time.
Let's talk about because we have a lot to talk about with you because you're layered in the sense that you're an artist, but then you also do comedy as well. Yeah. So where do you want to start with first? Your art or your comedy or both? Or?
I mean, they're not. They're pretty separate, unless I'm like doing art for a comedian, but. I guess art's kind of the way I got into show business in general because I was filmed in a commercial at an art gallery, and that's what got me into commercials. Commercials are how I met Bobby. Bobby is how I go to my first open mic at the Comedy Store.
Explain who Bobby is. He's talking about my older brother, Bobby.
Bobby Lee.
Yeah, Bobby Lee.
I did an AM PM commercial with Bobby Lee in like 2001.
I remember that.
It may be fucking 1998.
I remember that. You guys are like in the store.
Yeah, we go to a liquor store.
Yeah.
So I meet him there, and then he's like, I'm a stand-up. I'm like, that's rad. And he's like, yeah, if you ever want to go, let me know. So I hit him up, and I go to the store on like a Thursday, and I watch him, and like the lineup was like him and Mencia, and I don't know who else, but I just remember Bobby murdered. And I was like, I want to figure out how to do that. Like, because I'd always kind of want to do stand-up.
Oh, my brother inspired you?
Yeah, well, I'd never been to a comedy club.
Yeah.
In my life.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So
he inspired a lot of comics, right? Wasn't Ari?
Well, he was kind of like a guy if you met him. Paulie was like that too. Where like Paulie would bring guys. He would see a guy on the road.
Yeah.
And be like, if you come to LA, come to the Comedy Store. If he thought you're funny. So then like I go whatever. I see him and then I run into Amoeba and I'm like, hey, I think I want to be a comedian. And he's like, all right, come.
To my brother?
Yeah. This is like 6 months later. And he goes, all right. So we meet at the Coffee Bean on Sunset.
Yeah.
And I'm like, here are my jokes. He's like, it doesn't matter.
He's
like, these jokes. He's like, let me hear jokes. And I start telling him, he's like, it doesn't matter. Yeah. He goes, just come to the open mic this Sunday and Monday. The potluck. And I was
Explain what that process is like.
Well, back then
it was a hat, right?
There was you signed up, and back then it was legitimately half regular, what you call normal comedians, and half schizophrenics. Like back then there was a lot of people that were what you consider like legitimately mentally ill in the lineup of the open mic. Oh, wow. So like.
Is that how Don Barris got his show go? The Ding Dong Show?
Yeah, essentially the Ding Dong Show. He recruited.
Spawned off that then,
right? He recruited it from the open mic.
That didn't occur to me until like what you're talking about.
Don was always there on Sundays and Mondays, and so he would see all these people and be like, hey, I have a show for you.
We'll just bring all of them?
Yeah, so like I go there on a Sunday, and I'm sitting there, and I'm getting ready to go on. I'm sitting there waiting. And
how nervous were you?
I was really nervous. Like full stress sweat.
Yeah.
And Bobby's like, are you nervous? I'm like, yeah. And he goes, the guy before you is named Mickey. He's going to wrap himself in the curtain and just mumble. And I was like, what are you fucking talking about, dude?
One of the crazies?
Yeah, and he did that. He wrapped himself in the curtain. He mumbled. He was like, you're not going to be worse than that.
And so that made you feel a little bit better?
Yeah, so then I just did it. And then I just kind of kept going.
Did you get any laughs? Do you remember that?
The first time. And then the next day I did the same jokes and bombed my fucking nuts off. Yeah. Just full silence, like complete silence.
How did that make you feel?
It was so shocking.
Was it painful?
It was very painful. Bombing to me is like almost being hit by a car, where you're just like, oh fuck, like there's that like, dude, that was so fucked up. Like you're just your whole.
To me, it was the worst dream because I took a shot at open mics.
Totally, I remember.
And all I did was I had a cowboy rap bit. And then I did the cowboy rap at the Tempe Improv.
Wow.
They cut me out the next two shows. And my brother didn't have the balls to tell me the truth. he went like, he was like, Kevin, he was like, Steve, yeah, man, yeah, the time, man. You could actually, you could stop by Del Taco, just go home.
Dude, that's so fucking... Bobby, who routinely is like, I'm doing 35 minutes. They're like, what? He's like, I'm only doing 35 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
like,
so
he needs extra comedians to be on stage.
Yeah.
Back then he did.
So how does one... I don't think I've recovered from that personally.
Well, look, I think if someone has the inclination that they might want to do stand-up, they should.
Tell them.
They should try to do it.
What do they need? What do they need? Tell them the qualities.
Just go to an open mic, and you'll know right away, like, I'm either going to keep doing this or I'm never doing this shit again. Like, I did it, and I was like, the second time I bombed so hard, I was like, this is so hard. It's going to take me forever to figure this out. Which seemed interesting to me. I was like, I suck at this. How I want to figure out how to not suck at this.
Then when did that happen? Like, how does one learn how to write jokes?
I'll let you know when it happens.
What are you talking about?
It took
you're
forever.
A pro at this point.
It took forever. It took like 10 years. Like for me to get for me to get better, yeah, it took a long time. It's just joke density. You eventually have enough jokes to where you can rectify any bad situation on stage.
Do you have more? Do you have more fulfillment doing comedy or doing this cool shit?
Pretty much. They're very, very different because that's very like singular and like almost I would say like loner. Yeah, you're
by yourself.
I'm by myself, drawing alone, listening to like music.
Listening to like Elliott Smith. No. or the Cure. Or whatever. Or silence.
Yeah, just whatever. It is very lonely. Whereas comedy. It's there's people and you get like an immediate response, whereas you don't get art is great, but there's no like immediate reflexive visceral response to it in front of you like
immediately.
Yeah, it's
but
not the
I
same.
went to one of your art shows back in the day in Echo Park. You don't remember.
No, I remember,
but I remember.
Yeah,
I was there, and it's like, dude, your shit was on the walls. And you had your own wall and everything.
Totally, but
or section.
But like people. It's not the same. It's like making... Well, here's why it's different. At an art show, everyone's going to say, like, amazing, congratulations.
Even if they don't like your art?
Yeah, they're not going to tell you, like, this is bad. That doesn't happen.
Right.
Whereas... So I don't know. I don't know if they're lying or not. I don't understand their agenda. So I don't really trust people that much when they're like, this is amazing. I'm like, all right.
Yeah, but if they buy it, that means...
If they buy it, they buy it. Totally.
Saying?
That's one thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
But at a comedy club, laughing is very honest. I trust laughter. I trust the laughter of like a large group of people.
So you can't force a laugh?
Not really. Why would you?
But like I noticed when I did open mics, like the people who went like in groups and stuff, they would support each other and they would just forcefully
But that's
laugh.
totally. That's why I never did a bringer show and I've never invited people.
How do you get past that part of your trajectory though?
Well,
don't you have to do that?
I stuck to the Comedy Store. I just stuck to that open mic.
But how many times could you get up as an open micer at the Comedy Store?
Well, I was lucky that Ari was the fucking host all the time, and I wasn't annoying. He didn't know me, but I would show up. I would be like, hey, I'm here, and he would just slip me in if someone wasn't there. And I slowly worked my way. I would get employee spots without being an employee, just because I wasn't annoying, and all the other open micers would be like, hey, do you have a spot? Hey, do you have a spot? They'd bother him. So I basically check in and go sit in the back. And if I didn't get a spot, I just go home.
And how many times did that happen at the beginning?
What, that I didn't get one?
Like you didn't get
at least half the time.
Half the time?
Yeah, half the time.
How'd you meet Ari Shafir?
Bobby was just like, this is this guy. He's funny. Be nice to him. And Ari was like, ugh, fine. And I was like, I'm here. And I would just, it truly was just not bugging him.
You know, one thing, I didn't mean to get off topic, but I seen you guys book so many damn commercials that I'm like... I started going out too.
Yeah.
But then you guys would book like huge commercials. Like how many were you booking back then?
I mean, I don't.
Didn't you do a Heineken one?
Yeah. I did like I think it was like a campaign. There was like 4 of them. I don't know. I've done a lot of them.
Dude, okay, like can I
at
ask
this
you?
Point,
no, I know.
At this
how
point,
much,
like,
did you make some good dough on that?
Yeah, no, I mean,
like how much? Like you could say it now, but
I mean,
the most I made, I think 15,000.
You mean on like just one?
One. Like, how does that work? If one wants to get into the commercial game,
now it's very, very different.
But how was it back then?
Versus
now.
Back then, it was great. You would get a commercial, and then every time it ran, they give you money. So like once it started running for like a month or two, you would get these magical envelopes in the mail that had just like it'd be like 800. The best, if a commercial was running a lot, you'd get the big envelope. which meant there were so many checks that like they fucking didn't want it. It was too thick.
Yeah.
And so you'd open your mailbox and it'd be like, the first one was always low. It'd be like $400. You're like, dope. And then it'd be like 900. And you're like, fuck yeah. 2,100. $8,000. You were like, so on a Wednesday.
Wait. It went from that to $8,000.
Yeah. Like if a commercial was on a lot, you would get, on a Wednesday, you'd go home and you get $12,000. It was fucking maniacal. It was so amazing.
But that's just one Heineken one, right?
Well, there was 4 in that campaign. No, there was 4 in that campaign.
So you got to add campaign.
Yeah.
Wait, talk about differentiate just a commercial versus a campaign.
Well, if a commercial runs a lot, it's as good as a campaign. Like certain commercials I had done would run ad nauseum to the point where you were just getting a lot of checks because they'd run hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times. And they basically take all the money and they kind of like pool it.
Yeah.
So when your commercial ran a bunch of times, they'd send you a check. And you'd get a check and it'd be for like 100 runs.
Right.
So it'd be like $4,000 or whatever it was. Damn. It was epic.
The biggest one I did was Sour Starburst.
That's good.
And yeah, I think the most I made, I think at the very, when it was all said and done, close like 10 to 15.
Yeah.
Is that normal?
Yeah, that's
that
good.
wasn't a campaign though.
No, that's good for commercial. Now
you can't do that.
Well, because now they're all non-union basically.
What?
There's like I think like 70% of them are non-union because they just don't want to pay people. So like there's a kid who works at the Comedy Store. He got his first commercial for like United Air.
That's
and it's
huge.
Like $500 buyout, $500 usage. And I was like, rad. But in my head, I was like, dude, back in the day, that was a $15,000 job. Damn. And they're just like, yeah, we're not doing that anymore.
So like, what was your secret? Because I'll tell you, because my brother doesn't do, my brother booked a lot too. Mm-hmm. But you know what his secret was?
What?
Glasses.
Oh, yeah. No, I rode that shit to the bank, dude.
That's what he told me. You gotta get glasses.
When I started, there weren't a lot of guys because I was
guys.
I was in art school,
uh-huh.
So I was the only one who looked like an art school kid at these auditions. All the guys still kind of looked like 90s-ish, like almost grungy. Like they had too much hair. Like I had like short, punky hair and horn-rimmed glasses, and I literally for the first 2 years I never even spoke in a commercial. I was just there to look like that.
Just to look
like young and dejected with glasses. Just be like, what? Like that was it, dude.
Yeah,
it was amazing.
Okay, so how did that process work? So you go in for your initial audition, then you would get a thing called a callback. And then what happens after that?
You just do the exact same thing again in front of like 8 clients.
Yeah.
And then you get a call like you're on a veil, which means it's like you and 2 other people.
That's when you turn off your phone because you just don't want to. You're like trying to clear your head.
Yeah, and then you get a call that says you've got the job. Then you go do it. You get paid $700 for the day, and then if it runs, you just wait to see how much because it's not like guaranteed, really. You just hope.
Can I tell you some heartbreak though? Can I just tell you my when I just said fuck this?
Mm-hmm.
So I was in the bubble to get an ad campaign for Verizon.
Right. Yeah.
And it was around this time. It was a Christmas caroling one. Oh, and then it was me and this other Asian guy.
Right.
He had cooler like hair though. Like
that's it.
Cooler,
that's it.
His was like James Eha.
That's it. Yeah.
And then we were both we were at the final round, where the producers were there, and so they go, "All right, Steve, stand on the X." Okay, Steve, do it. And I went, I did my thing, and then they were like, no reaction. And then they're like, all right, Steve, stand on the side of the room.
Yeah.
Okay, Paul. Well, let's say his name was Paul. I don't know. Paul. He went, did his thing. Anything he did. Excellent. Hey, Paul, can you do it this way? Oh, and then I'm like starting to sweat. Like, I'm like just watching him like jealous. Like, like I was like just envy and rage
it's so
and jealousy.
Punishing, dude.
And so it was agonizing being there. I just wanted to hide under a rock.
Yeah.
So I had to watch him just kill. Like kill it in front of producers and the ad people. And hold up, I'm almost done. So it got to a point where they were just annoyed at looking at me.
Yeah, they're just mad you're there.
Yeah, and so they go, Steve, you could actually stand in the hallway.
Yeah.
We'll get you if we need you.
So do you remember where it was?
It was 200 South La Brea.
I was there today. I have to go tomorrow.
It was 200
I've been going
South
to that place for
La Brea.
20 years.
It's where the freaking Petco is.
It's where the Petco is.
It's where the freaking lamp.
Lamps Plus. It's not a Lamps Plus anymore.
But, after that, no, because it pained me because you don't feel the effect until it's shown everywhere.
Yeah. And then you
see
it.
Made bank, dude.
Yeah, you probably did.
I want to hear some stories.
The first time I ever tested for a pilot, I was auditioning to play John Goodman's son. And they had me going first, right?
Yeah.
And testing, we base test. It's you and like two other guys, and you have to go into this awful room. It's always a like soundproof screening room. So if you get a laugh, it disappears immediately. Like it just dies. And it's like 12 executives that are there to just make you feel bad. And
what did you have to do? What was the?
You have to do like 2 scenes, whatever.
You had dialogue?
Yeah, you have dialogue.
This is a commercial?
No, this is for a television show.
This is a television.
This is a television show.
Okay, we didn't know. Okay, I just wanted
sorry.
to
So it's for it was for a television show, I think, on Fox.
Okay.
And so I go in, and by this point I've auditioned for it like 3 times. This is the last step, and if I get it, it's already picked up for 13 episodes. So like, I'm looking at like $400,000 or something, like a lot of fucking money.
$400,000.
Yeah, and at this point I'm like 23 years old, so that may be $10 million as far as I'm concerned. This is so much money I can't even handle.
Yeah.
So I go in, I do an okay job. As I'm leaving, the next guy who's going in, he's just like kind of fat and looks like John Goodman. And as I'm walking past, he walks in the room, the door's not closed yet, and I just hear I go, "All you gotta do is not fuck it up, buddy." It's like
to him?
Yeah, to him.
Because he looks the part.
He looks the part, and they all just laugh. Ha 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 ha! And I'm like, I'm not getting this fucking job. And then that's when I learned there's always someone. If there's 3 people, there's a patsy. What
do you mean by that?
I had a producer explain this to me. She's like, yeah, when we're making a TV show, when we have someone we want for the part, we have to bring in 2 other people. We are desperate that they do. We want them to not get it so bad, but we have to show them 3 people, otherwise they get mad at us. So there's
they're the lookalikes?
There's 2 people that don't have a chance in fucking hell.
Why do they go?
Because they don't tell you that.
Oh, they don't.
You have to like.
They don't tell
it takes years and years to realize when you're not the guy.
Yeah.
Like, but now I kind of know. You can tell when you're the patsy.
Yeah.
So you just kind of like, man, it doesn't matter. You just go and kind of fuck around. But they're like, yeah, there's. But every once in a while, she told me, she goes, every once in a while, the person you don't want has the audition of their life, and then you have to cast them, and then you're stuck with them, and it's the worst.
Oh my.
Because if you bring, I know people. My friend Max, he was on that show New Girl.
That's a big show, isn't it?
Huge show.
Huge.
And he was a guy that like everybody loved. So he'd go to an audition and the people would be like, that's our guy. We want only him. What
did Max look like?
He looks like a cross between Tom Cruise and someone Jewish. Okay? He's like Jewish Tom Cruise, basically. He's very handsome.
It's a good look.
So he goes in. Yeah. They would always be like, no, we just want to test him. So, and that was like the kiss of death. Because the network would be like, yeah, he's amazing, but
don't
like,
you have to act and have skills?
Yeah, you have tons of skills, but like, he's great, and they'd be like, he's so great, we only can envision it with him. But then he'd go in and be great, but they still be like, yeah, he's great, but like, I wonder if there's someone out there that would be more perfect.
Right.
So that's why they bring in these poor bastards like me sometimes who just go in there to eat shit.
Yeah.
And because I'm not the guy on that day. But then some days you are the guy, and that's okay.
I want to hear a couple more of these stories. You must have a lot. You've been in the game.
I'll give you one where I.
Yeah, just give me the good one. Give me the.
I once was my first job on a TV show where I was a series regular. I went into test, and it was me and another guy who's a magician. He's a comedian magician. I can't think of his name right now, but he's a super funny dude. And I go in, or he goes in first, and he does it. And then I go in, I come out. He goes, "How were they?" I go, "They were good." He goes, "They didn't laugh at anything I said." And I was like, "Really?" He goes, "Did they laugh at you?" I was like, "Yeah, a lot." He was like, "Oh, it was Derek Hughes." Derek Hughes is really funny, good comedian, good, great magician too. He's like, "They didn't laugh at me at all," and I was like, "Oh." And I was the one who got the job, but he didn't. But whatever.
So with that, it's just kind of like a mind bender. You don't
you
don't know what they want. They
it's
don't know
out
what
of
they
your
want.
hands. It's basically out of your hands. But at that point, everyone's about the same skill level.
Yeah.
So you're either the person they envision or not. It's just that. Like it's same with commercials now. It like when I go in my age range, all the guys are basically good. They're all funny, whatever. So it's just the 10 people who make the call are just like his hair, or like I like his face versus his face. It's not like a skill thing. There's not a lot you can do at that point.
Right. So you're still doing it?
Yeah. Sometimes.
Wait, who you with? You with Aqua still?
No, I was never with them. I've been with the same agent my whole life, SBV. Been with them since I was like 20.
What does that stand for?
Sutton, Barth, and Venari. But I don't think any of them are left now.
That's not a bigger one, right? That's not.
No, it is.
It's a big one.
It's been around forever.
It's like CAA, William Morris.
Of commercials, kind of, yeah.
So okay, let's clarify this for people who don't know this language. So there's commercial agencies
and theatrical agencies.
And tell them the differences.
Sometimes theatrical agents are the ones that put you in TV and movies. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Commercial agents specifying commercials and voiceover.
Yeah.
Sometimes theatrical agents do both, but I have a commercial agent and a theatrical agent.
How does one obtain one or both?
It's very hard. Especially now.
In what ways?
Well,
it's
now
harder now. You think it'd be easier
way harder
technology.
now. No, it's way harder now.
In what ways? Let's talk.
Well,
about
now if now to get one, you better have like 1 million Instagram followers or like.
They look at that shit.
Oh, they care a lot about that shit.
How do they find your social?
Oh, totally, because they want someone who already has a following. Like if I was trying to fucking get an agent now, I would be super fucked.
They look at your Instagram.
Yeah, totally. They want to know everything. I did a commercial like 2 years ago, near a year ago, and they hired this guy. They went to his Facebook, and then they fired him because they saw some bad shit on there. Like, he was part of some, like, white nationalist groups and shit. And they were like, nope.
Yeah,
like, get him out of here.
That's so crazy, because back in the day when I was doing it, they didn't.
Dude.
All you needed was a headshot.
Ari got fired once for The Amazing Racist.
I want to hear about that.
He did an IBM commercial, and then they saw an Amazing Racist video. They're like, we can't fucking use this guy.
Yeah.
But at that point, he was, moving away from having to do that
Ari,
shit.
hasn't he's booked the most out of all you guys, right?
No, I booked more than Ari.
You've booked more than Ari.
Yeah. I've done like 100.
You've done 100
jobs?
Yeah. So, dude, you got a house now?
I have a house, yeah. I'm super lucky, dude.
Dude, let's
I fit squarely into a category. I didn't like pay for the whole thing. Me and a bank have a house together.
But
yeah, I was able to.
You were able to make a living just doing commercials.
Yeah. For a long time, I was. Yeah. Now it's my split. I have to do I do more regular TV acting than commercials now.
Okay, let's talk about some of your TV roles.
Okay.
And then when you start getting your jobs doing that.
That started to happen after doing I'd done maybe 12 or 15 commercials. And I'm friends. I went to high school with the guys who were in that band Eve 6. I don't know if you're old enough to remember them.
Okay, they're from the 90s?
They're from the 90s.
Okay.
And they were making a music video, and their manager was there, and I was making them laugh or something. And he was like, what do you do? And I was like, oh, I'm in art school. Mm-hmm. And he was like, but Max said you're in a commercial? I was like, yeah, I'm in a Burger King commercial that's on right now. He's like, well, how many have you done? I was like, I've done 12. And he's like, in how long? And I was like, I don't know, like 6 months.
That's unheard of, isn't it?
It was a little weird.
Well, that's a little weird.
Once I got going, I got a lot of them because, again, there just wasn't people that looked like me.
Right.
And he was like, come meet with me on Monday. Just come to my office. I want to talk to you. And he was like, let me try to get you into TV and movies and shit. So he sent me to meet with some agents. And this one agency, they were like, you don't have to sign with us, I know you're meeting with other people, but let us send you out on these 2 auditions because you're right for them. And so I went on those 2 auditions, and I just got both those jobs.
Well, this is theatric, right?
Yeah, this is theatric. So I got both those jobs, and then I just kept working with those people.
But did you go to acting school?
No, not then. I started, because in the same way I did commercials, I did TV just kind of playing myself, like a sarcastic nerd with glasses.
Okay.
And I did a lot of that. And then I started to not be, a couple times I got fired a couple times on jobs because I couldn't, adjust. I could only kind of do one thing.
Right.
Then I went to acting school. I found a coach out here. It's actually my friend's dad, and he came out here, and I went to him for 5 years.
So did that help?
Oh, a ton. Because I just
learned. In what ways? Just to memorize lines better? Or
I know.
How does that work?
Memorizing lines has never been that hard for me, but just learning how to play different stuff. Like acting class, you just do lots of different kinds of parts that you would normally not do. So it just made it so if I'm on a job and the director's like, hey, I know you're doing it like that, or can you do it different? I can adjust. And I can just do more kinds of things now.
So as far as the trajectory of an actor, it's like commercials, then TV, then movies, right?
Well, now, I mean, fuck, TV's better. TV's better than movies now.
Oh, you're right.
TV shows are way better than movies.
The platforms, and the streaming sites, and everything.
I mean, 2 episodes of The Crown are better than most films.
So is that what you're gunning for? Like,
I mean, yeah, that's what I love I like being the funny person on a serious TV show.
Yeah,
that appeals to me.
So that's big money if you book something like pretty.
Sure,
legit,
yeah.
Right? Like
if you're a regular character on a television show, you get paid really well.
So how much an episode? Me and Craig talk about this all the time. Like how much an episode?
If you're on a network TV show, you're in the $30,000 to $40,000 an episode range.
What?
That's a lot of money.
For one episode?
Yeah. Now, to be fair, you keep about...
That's first, yeah.
Yeah, first season, then you get a bump at, like, I think season 4.
You get a bump.
Yeah.
So it's good. You're 50, 60 now?
50, 60. And then the show's a hit, then you start getting really paid. Now, to be fair, you keep about 20% of your money, like 30%.
So Bud Bundy's still living off that.
I don't think they got paid that well.
No, they got
That was early.
cheddar.
You got to remember that was early Fox. And
okay, so what's a better example? I'm sorry, that's back in the day. What's a better example?
Do you want a back in the day show or just now or any show?
Just something maybe early 2000.
Early 2000s. That would be like Friends.
All right. Friends.
No, that was like late 90s. Well, Big Bang is they're really paid. They got really.
No, why is Big Bang Theory way more paid than other shows?
Because it syndicates well. This was explained to me by Whitney. That like.
Okay, explain that to the viewers. What does syndication
So when a
mean?
show gets to a certain number of episodes, they can sell the show into syndication
I'm gonna put your board down.
Okay. You better skate that. Don't fucking. Don't hang it up like a nerd.
No, I'm not gonna hang it up. I definitely will.
So when a show gets enough episodes, it may be like 60 something. Hundreds ideal. You can sell it into syndication so it can run in reruns on like TNT or like back in the day it'd be like Channel 5 like that. That's what I would watch like Three's Company on.
I love that show.
And a show like Big Bang Theory appeals to a very wide audience.
Yeah.
So you can sell it everywhere. And because of that, it's worth a fuck ton of money. So then you can now have the money to pay your actors a lot because now they're worth a lot of money.
So how much for an episode for them?
Those kids were clocking like $250,000. Like they were making shit tons of money. Yeah, they made
say that
lots.
Again, Craig? Say that number.
75 million.
75 million. That's what Craig said.
They made lots.
Oh, jeez.
I know one. Like I know Simon who was on that show, and I remember he bought
a principal actor.
Yeah, he bought like a house after like 3 seasons, and then he bought another house. It was like, oh, this is okay. Like your life, that's a life. That's the fastest
but that's like
your life.
Lottery, isn't that like winning
it's
the lottery?
Full blown
Come on,
lottery.
that's not like a normal occurrence.
Oh no,
right?
that's the only way you could actually get rich incredibly fast in show business. Right.
Now, explain the reality of this.
The reality of being a working actor is
that's the reality.
You have really rad years, and then you have it's cyclical. So I'll have a rad year, and then I'll have a not rad year, and it's like that. You have to account for the fact that it is going to be cyclical.
But you have a different situation because you could always do art shows and focus on your art, dude.
I have I'm lucky that I have like a fun side hustle. Stand up and doing like freelance art is like, I don't have to like get a job I hate.
Okay, I want to get back to the art. I want to dip back and forth because I just went to James Jean's
that motherfucker
workshop.
Can draw.
I know. He did that. See that?
I went to Comic-Con in the year 2000, and this guy Alex Gross, who was a teacher of mine, goes, "You got to see this dude's sketchbook."
It's like the hand of God.
He goes, "You got to see this guy's sketchbook." I was like, "All right," and I'm looking at it, and I was like, "What the fuck, dude?"
His lines.
That motherfucker.
No, let me tell you, his lines are better than a ruler.
That dude.
He could get the contours.
Hand skills are no bullshit. They are fucking. That guy's. You haven't seen.
He was on here, by the way.
Oh really?
Yeah, James. We've had artists.
That's
why you're here. We've had artists
here.
There's
him. There's a guy named. I'm gonna fuck up his name. It's like Aaron Horthaway or Horky.
That's the homie.
That fucking guy can draw. We haven't seen a guy who's that good in black and white.
Shout out to Aaron Horky. Ruka, he did stuff for Ruka.
He did stuff for Ruka. What skate company do you work for?
Fuck.
maybe did he may have done something for Zero.
If it was maybe Zero.
But that guy's black.
He could do Darth Metal album covers if you wanted.
That fucking guy's drawing ability. We haven't seen that shit since like the 1930s and 40s.
But you know the thing is, because I've seen that guy, because I was like studying him, because he was going through a breakup or something. This is a long time ago. This is at Dave Cho's warehouse when he had it, and he was visiting, just wanted to get away from Minnesota. Yeah, he brought, and we were up in one of the rooms at Dave's warehouse. He was constantly drawing. Yeah, like let's say me and you were shooting the shit. He had like this little it was like a kit, but filled with like pens and colored pencils, and he would literally he'd be talking, but he was always drawing. Even
if you're incredibly talented, that guy's work is of a level where if you're not constantly drawing, you're not that good. Like look him up. If you're watching this and you don't know this dude,
Aaron Horkey.
That's look up homie. Go to his Instagram.
Shout out to Aaron.
His drawings are bananas.
You know, it's so detailed. Like, you know what I'm talking about? Like, if he does, like, tree branches.
The branches.
Or the freaking lettering.
The bird heads and shit.
Yeah, dude.
Fuck that. I look at those and I'm like, fuck that shit. Fuck that shit.
It's like, what's that movie? What's that movie?
That dude's hand's going to fall off
Hereditary.
one day.
You know that movie Hereditary with the miniatures? And she has the magnifying.
No, dude. That guy's, he's got that one day, his spine's just going to crumble. Because from a life hunched over. That dude, fuck.
Dude, you know that guy is like, he used to rap. He had like a rapping name too.
Really?
Yeah. So he had a side project.
That's interesting.
Yeah. And then, that's crazy you brought him up. I'm glad you brought him up. Because,
he's a legend to me.
I would love to have him on here as well. Like, cause
skate graphic legend.
Yeah. So what? Okay. I lost track cause we keep. So I was at James's workshop, right? And I didn't know this, but like you had to be invited to go there. Mm-hmm. I just rode with Dave, so he couldn't say, "Oh, Steve, you can't come."
Oh, the drawing workshop. I was like, "Hey, I looked at that. I was like, well, how the fuck was this?"
There was a nude model, dude.
Yeah.
So there was a nude model, and like she had. I don't know. I've never been to a workshop.
Yeah.
But when she did that, I was just like, "Oh." You know, like
that's the one thing. The one thing about art school is naked people are so boring to me. I go to a workshop in Los Feliz, and like. I wish they'd put some clothes on these motherfuckers. Like, I can draw naked people. It's not a skill I need anymore. Right. I don't get hired to draw nude people.
Then why do they do it?
It's to learn anatomy and to learn how the body works so you can then invent figures out of your head. Because James Jean invents figures out of his fucking head. He's not like posing people for a lot of those paintings.
I looked at, during the breaks, because, you know, you get cheese and crackers and wine.
Right.
And, I would spy on what other people were doing. Yeah. People are a little bit secretive. It was my first one, by the way. Well, people were like not really.
Yeah, artists are. Yeah,
we're like,
oh, this one's not that good. This one don't look. That one's not that good. Like it's fucking.
Oh, I was on the ground like with my crayon. I was like, just doing whatever. But what was I gonna say? Everyone there was a name in the art community.
Yeah.
Either working like. During one of the breaks, Dave was like, "Hey, this guy just worked on the new Terminator movie, dude. Like, you don't know him?" And then this other one was just—they're all names.
Yeah, the one I go to is like half of us are pros, and then half are like not.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I like. I like watching people who like kind of can't draw. It's fascinating to me.
Well, why is that?
Because I don't understand why everyone can't draw. It doesn't make sense to me.
So what's your belief that everyone has the capacity
to draw? Well, you can learn to draw.
You can learn.
It's just if you don't have the innate talent, it takes a long time. Anyone can figure it out. It's like because there's tricks. It's like measuring things against different things. You can learn it.
You can learn,
but it's very slow. Whereas someone like James, was born with an incredible innate ability.
How does he get so much detail? Like the guy with the nails and like the veins in the hands and.
Well, he's just spent a lifetime looking at shit. Like I can draw stuff in my head because I've spent I didn't look at pictures of those people to draw them. I made them up because I've spent years and years and years just looking at stuff, looking at people, looking at pictures, looking at paintings, looking at drawings, and it just becomes this huge bank in your head that to where you just kind of have a base level understanding of how the human figure works and how things work, how fabric folds, how nails look, how shoes look.
Yeah.
And you have to look at reference here and there, but like you can start to like invent stuff out of your head just because you've drawn. If you went to art school, you drew thousands of drawings.
Where did you go to school again?
I went to Art Center College of Design.
I thought you were going to say like Otis or something.
No.
Okay.
I went to Art Center, and you just draw thousands and thousands of drawings. You do hundreds of figure drawings all the time, just tons and tons and tons and tons.
It's repetition.
It's just repetition.
Yeah.
So I've drawn thousands of hands, thousands of heads, thousands of bodies, thousands of feet.
Okay, so I'm sure there's artists in the world right now that are just as good as James.
Yeah.
And no one doesn't know about them. And no one will ever see their shit. Like, so how does one navigate through the art world to get your first art show, to do this, to get consignment here, to, you know what I'm saying? And, you know.
The way I don't do shows anymore, but when I was doing them when I was younger, I just hung out at all the places I wanted to show.
What do you mean? You just show up to...
Well, like I wanted to show at New Image Art, like on Fairfax, Santa Monica. It was like a cool gallery with like young artists. So I just started going to all the shows. And like made friends with the lady who owned it, and like I bought a small piece of art, not totally to schmooze her, but also I wanted it. And like you
went
gotta,
as a consumer just to buy?
You gotta become a part of the community you want to work in. So like I love zines.
Tell the camera that again.
You gotta be support the community you want to be in. Like I love zines, so buy zines at Giant Robot, because otherwise the store will close. Zines are usually handmade. I didn't make this, but these are zines, like a small artist-made publication of work by a person usually. So this is a zine, I think the German company made of some of my old art. This is very old, but whatever.
It's kind of like got that punk rock kind of attitude.
It's just like a thing you can make on your own, staple bound, you know.
Do it yourself.
Do it yourself type situation.
Yeah.
So but you got to support the things.
Mm-hmm.
You got to support the things you want to be a part of. Like, don't buy fucking a Nike T-shirt. Go to Giant Robot or a store you like. If you want a store to carry your zine or your book or your T-shirts, that's where you should buy your shit. Because if you don't shop there, the store will fucking go away.
Right.
So shop. If I'm looking to buy stuff, clothing, it's like... It's just basically the same price to buy it off artists now, and they're not hard to find.
Yeah. Because they have their own websites.
They have their own Instagrams. I found this dude from Colorado named Sam Pearson who rules.
Yeah.
And he has rad shirts, so I buy a shirt from him instead of going to a mall.
That's what's up.
And his shirts are cooler.
That's the same thing. That's the same idea, like supporting like your local skateboard shop.
Yeah.
Don't go to Zoom. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't go to Zoomies. Go to get it from pharmacy.
Go to Kingswell.
Yeah, or Kingswell.
Like, go buy from a local shop. You have to. You have to financially support the scene you want to be a part of.
Yeah.
And it is social. You got to there's this that lady Suze Orman, the financial expert.
Oh, I like her.
She's amazing.
Yeah.
Money, no, people then money then things. So it's about
say that again?
People then money then things.
People
first, money second, things third.
Things.
So it starts out
with people.
You need relationships. You become part of a community.
Okay.
People realize you're good. You're not an asshole.
Mm-hmm.
You're maybe nice to work with. Mm-hmm. Then they're like, hey, we need a person that does this. If you're a person that does this, they're like, let's hire him. He seems all right. You start work. Then that's where the money comes from. And then if you're good, you get to start moving up. And then you have the money to buy shit.
Right. Okay, so you first start going and purchasing art.
I bought like a $300 piece of art at New Image, and that's how I met her. And then, I knew people that showed at the gallery, and they were like, oh, yeah, Kevin's an artist. She'd be like, oh, you're an artist?
You didn't pitch that.
No.
So that's an important thing.
No, you can't pitch. You can't really
I just took notice of that.
Pitch yourself to art galleries. You kind of have to be asked. It sucks, but you kind of I wanted to show at this gallery in Santa Monica, Richard Heller Gallery, right? I'd bought something there before because he had this artist I really liked named Jason Yeagle out of Oakland. I thought that guy was rad. So I buy this painting, and I would go hang out there, go to all the shows. And then this curator that had put me in a show in New York, I knew she was going to she was coming to LA to visit artists. She was going to come look at all my shit in my studio, and I knew she was going to that gallery. So in my head, I was like, I know she's going to go to that gallery.
Yep.
He's going to ask her who she's meeting with out here. She's going to say me, and he's going to be like,
Christy.
He's going to be like, I know that guy. I didn't know he was an artist. She's going to be like, oh, yeah, he's rad. I just showed him at this place. Oh. And then he's going to be like, well, the next time I go in there, he was like, hey, I just, Manya told me about you. You're an artist. I was like, yeah. He's like, why didn't you tell me? I was like, I don't know. I don't want to bum rush you. He's like, well, let me see some stuff. I showed him some stuff. And then he was like, oh, I like this stuff. Well, you can have a show here.
Because that's amazing. Because you would think it's the other way around.
You'd hope, but it's like...
don't artists do that? Hey, my God. Hey, look at my
It's like
keys.
Being an actor. It's like why you have to have an agent. It's like everyone wants to show in Rad Gallery. So if it was like that, they'd be overwhelmed with tons and tons of artists coming in like, here's a painting I did, give me a show. It's about like kind of them finding out via people they trust about a person. So
you need to have that rapport, and you need people to vouch, kind of
a little bit,
for you.
Tina Fey was in an interview, and she was talking about writer's packets, like sketch. She goes, most of them are terrible, but what you're looking for is a glimmer of talent and someone to vouch that they're not insane, because you're going to have to spend 10 hours a day with them in a room. So it's like when another artist vouches for you that they already like, it's like my friend Taylor McKimmons, who's brilliant, was like, oh yeah, Kevin's rad.
Yeah.
It's like that simple. And so they're like, okay, I know you're rad. If you say that person's good, maybe I'll check him out.
So, but you have to get to a point where your homies like are at a certain place in their career, like the art career.
Totally.
To even have a say or to be...
yeah, I mean, but that's about... When I was in school, I tried really, really hard.
Yeah.
I tried to make the coolest work I could. And the people I became friends with, I liked hanging out with people whose work I really liked. So I became friends with people whose work I thought was great. Those people ended up doing okay. So they were in positions to... We were all in positions to tell people about people.
Right.
So even galleries I showed, I'd be like, you should look at this person. Like, you should check this artist out. And they respected me enough to look at those people.
Now, has the landscape changed because of technology where, like, in social media, where, like, on your Instagram, you might have a cool painting or a drawing, and someone direct messages you?
Yeah, that's... If I sell work now, it's usually just through my Instagram. Someone will be like, how much? And I just... tell them. And
so how do they find out? Like, what are we talking about? Like a painting that you posted?
Yeah, I'll just post a painting and someone will be like, hey, I like that one. Do you sell your work? And I'll be like, yeah, and this is how much.
And so, like, how does that work if when you're first starting out as an artist, like sell like something like that Mad Max poster, like the side, that would be like $200, $150.
If it was a painting?
If it was on canvas.
If I did that painting on canvas, it would be more than $200.
no,
that's a fucking tough painting, dude.
No. I'm saying the size, not the painting.
Oh, the size. So that's
not
9 by 12.
Yeah, 9 by 12, I guess.
I think. Well, I'm older, but a new artist would be in the $200 or $300 range.
Okay, yeah. We're talking about the new artist. We're talking about the aspiring artists that are watching this. That
if it's an original, don't. Here's what I would like to say to young artists.
Yeah, please.
Don't give your shit away, dude. Don't sell it for nothing. It's good. Don't fucking be selling your bull. It drives me nuts when I see an artist like, for the next 4 hours, $40 drawings. Like, no, man, you're fucking better than that. Like, I don't care. Okay, someone like James Jean, he can knock out a drawing in seconds. Like 5 minutes, he could do something worth buying, right?
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck that it took him 5 minutes. It took him 5 minutes and 25 years to get that good.
Oh.
So you're giving it away for nothing.
Right.
I am routinely discouraged by how cheap people think art should be. Like, a lot of people ask me, like, do you sell prints? Of which I don't. Yeah. Because I am not interested in...
Okay, so why is that? Why don't you sell prints? Because a lot of artists do sell prints.
They're so inexpensive, it's not necessarily worth it to be going to the mailbox that often. If you have a... I also don't have a huge Instagram following. If you're David...
You have like almost 30,000.
I have 7,000 Instagram followers. I have 20,000 Twitter followers. Oh, but on Instagram, if you don't have a shit... You see how sad you got? You just got so bummed, like everything you knew fell apart. You're like, but if he only has 7,000, then
I didn't mean that. I thought it doesn't matter.
What hope is there for anyone, really? Like walls just came down around you, dude.
It's okay, Kevin.
Walls.
You're fine. You're fine.
Like psychological walls.
No, everything's fine.
I feel fine about my total.
That's fine.
My number doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
It's like we're talking about it.
Why does it affect people in so many different... Why do people, like, it's such a big thing, people will pay money to get, the saddest. Listens or follows.
That's the saddest.
That's crazy.
That's the saddest. Because it doesn't actually work.
What do you mean?
Well, like, you can tell.
Well,
the people who look at this stuff can tell. So you'll see someone who has, like, supposedly they have 800,000 Instagram followers. Then they post a photo, you look, it's got 50 likes. You're like, those aren't real followers.
Right.
Whereas, like, Whitney posts a picture, it's like 10,000 likes, 20,000 likes, 30,000.
Yeah.
That's because the people who follow her actually follow her.
They follow her.
Yeah.
Right.
But, yeah, I would just tell young artists, like, don't be fucking giving shit away.
Okay.
Don't be selling it for nothing.
So let's go back to the base rate. 200 at least.
200-300 if you spent time on it, man.
Okay, if you spent time on it and you...
Like, what are you paying yourself? $10 an hour? Fuck that.
Yeah.
That's bullshit.
Okay, so that's your base rate. 200, 250, 300.
That's for a drawing.
For a drawing.
If it's a good drawing.
But what about a painting?
A painting fuck, like on canvas?
Yeah.
That should be $1,000, man.
$1,000.
Yes. There's one in the world. There's not a print. It's not one of 100. That's $50. There's one in the universe. There's only one.
One painting.
One painting. Here's what I think about the money. Everyone okay. Guys hit me up all the time. Because of Toy Machine and Ed, I have a lot of skate followers, right?
Yeah.
Which I love. You know
I love that too.
You know I love skateboarding.
I know.
So
can we get into that as well?
Totally.
Because you're wearing the sweatshirt.
So like then I get hit up by dudes who want to buy art, but they're young. They don't necessarily have a lot of money. Mm-hmm. So I have to be like, yeah, I don't sell stuff for that much.
Yeah.
Sometimes, if you have like a rad sticker collection, I'll trade you.
Oh, so you can trade as artists trade.
If you have if you have like 80s skateboard stickers and you're down to send me like
slime balls,
10 or 15, we can talk about trades.
Let's do it.
Yeah, but like you have to give me the right shit. Like,
right.
I'm not selling you a painting I did for $100. I'm sorry, I can't.
Fair
it took me too long.
No, fair enough.
They take me a long time.
Okay.
So then, because of that, but then what I look at is like, if you look at the way people spend money, I guarantee that dude probably has $1,000 in sneakers. More.
Right.
It's when people think everyone wants to buy art, but you have to make buying art a priority in your financial life to where you save up for it. Right. Like I've bought a lot of art in my life, but I would like save up. Like I love
it's
Barry.
Like an investment as
I
well.
love Barry McGhee, right?
Yeah. Oh, I like his stuff. He's a skateboarding
He's
artist.
amazing.
Yeah.
Well, he's fucking expensive. Like I wanted a Barry McGhee bottle. Well, they were $1,200. So like I bought it, but it took me a while to get the money to where when I saw one and it was available, I was like, okay, I can do this now.
Okay.
Like I couldn't just be throwing money around. Like
so it's
art's
an investment
expensive.
as well. When you say
yes,
when you buy a piece of art like
my
that.
dog needed surgery and I sold it for $5,000.
Oh, but it's your dog.
It's my dog. What am I gonna do?
Of course. Okay, 10 minutes. Okay, like let's just because you're wearing the sweatshirt. I wanted to know. We'll end it with like how you got into working with these skateboarding companies, especially specifically Toy Machine.
I met Ed through another artist, and we realized we both really liked going to Disneyland.
Okay.
And so me and him and his wife and the woman I was dating at the time would go to Disneyland all the time with Ed and Deanna, and that's when we started. I just kind of mentioned that I was down to do graphics, and he was like,
"How do you know you're an artist?"
That we'd met already through art gallery stuff.
Art galleries. Oh.
Yeah. We showed at some of the same places, and so that's how I met him, and yeah. So that's how I got into it. So because he's a full-time artist, he's always looking for help with graphics at Toy Machine because he needs so much time to do his own personal work and shit. So cool. And so I was so super hyped to do skateboards.
Oh my god.
That I was like, I'll do them. Like I didn't even take money for the first series. I had him pay me in decks.
Yeah, how many series have you? I mean, this is
I've
not
done
your first
3.
One. You've
Three
done 3
series, yeah. They take me. I don't do them that often because they take me a fucking long time because I'm bad at the computer.
Yeah.
So I have to hand draw everything. It takes forever.
Dude, that one came out dope.
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah.
They definitely look like they're fucking.
That's so awesome. Yeah.
And they're like just ugly white people.
Well, the guy looks like he's in ecstasy.
Yeah, he looks like he's having a good time.
Dude, time flew with you. I thought an hour.
You thought it was gonna be so.
No, I didn't. But it just went boom.
Yeah.
Now's the time to. You want to like plug this?
Oh no,
quick?
that's not even available.
Okay.
The one thing I would plug, and you're gonna come do it. I have a show about skateboard.
Yeah,
stickers.
I want to do that about skateboarding stickers.
I have a show on YouTube called Sticker Album.
Can we do that soon or?
Yeah, whenever.
Okay, cool.
And I talk about one sticker per episode.
Mm-hmm.
I basically talk about the sticker, how it was made, who made it, why I think it's rad, and like other art it reminds me of. It's basically an excuse for me to talk about art. So I'll be like, because I think people are put off by the art world. Mm-hmm. They find it like kind of exclusionary. I think everybody likes art. They just don't really know it. And if they've shown the right art, they'd be like, oh, fuck, I do like that stuff.
Right.
So I like taking something like skateboard stickers and being like, you like this already. I know you do. If you like this, you'd probably be into this person and this person and this person. And that kind of hopefully opens people up to being like, oh, shit, maybe I could investigate this stuff more.
No doubt. And
it's
a brilliant idea because you're not only putting light on the sticker itself, but you're learning about a new artist every week.
That's what I hope. I hope people watch it and they're like, oh, shit, I'm going to look that person up.
Yeah, for
sure.
And
like buy a book or whatever.
Yeah. can we start plugging, I want to start plugging all your platforms, your social media, websites, upcoming shows, whether they're art shows or comedy shows.
I'm at the Comedy Store basically every weekend. My Instagram is at Kevin G. Christy. The G is in the middle. And same Twitter. Twitter's at Kevin G.
Can you
Christy.
spell it out to the...
KEVINGCHRISTY. Tell your mom.
And then your website or...
What's my website? There's a link to it on my fucking
on your Instagram.
It's not that up and working right now. My Instagram functions.
If someone wants to purchase some of your art,
hit me up just DM me on Instagram.
And then you
can see it all there. So.
And your shows are going to be on your Instagram as well?
Yeah, I usually promote my shows, but I'm at the Comedy Store every Friday and Saturday, basically.
Cool. We'd like to come by and check out one of your sets. Yeah.
That sounded so fucking fake. We'd like to come by and check. That sounded like an old showbiz executive who was lying and gonna fuck me. Like, you can't, you just asked me to wait in the hallway, homie. Like, Kevin, you can go wait in the hallway. We'd love to see one of your sets. Why don't you wait in the hallway?
Thing to say.
Why don't we?
You know what? You're right. I hate going to the Comedy Store.
Yeah, you would never go there. You hate it there.
I don't like the Comedy Store.
You are not comfortable there at all.
I'm not going there at all.
I've
so
seen
sorry.
you there. You don't like it.
We will not be going. Let me redo it. We will not be going to one of your sets at the Comedy Store.
Why?
Because I don't like the Comedy Store because it has a dark energy.
Yeah,
and I'll leave it at that. At least I admitted it. Yeah, I will not be going to
We'd love to see one of your sets. Your eyes went so dead, as you said it.
I feel dead inside a lot of the times.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Totally.
We won't be going to your show.
No, don't.
But we will be going to your freaking art show.
Sure.
Okay.
That was so
I don't like
real.
the Comedy Store.
You got to be very specific to like it.
You got to have a certain shield or
Yes.
guard.
You have to have a
either have
shield
to have
on.
a guard or you have to have a dark energy.
I'm a sensitive person, but I know to leave that in the car as soon as I walk into the
there's a lot of ego and dark energy there.
You got to be careful. It's like a prison.
It's like
the
vampires are out.
It is the island of misfit toys, and everyone's mad.
Yeah. Okay. I respect what you guys do, though.
Again,
all right.
That sounded not that sincere.
No, I do. I did. I've done it before. And it's a tough racket. Okay, so if you like the show, the podcast, you could support the podcast by going to patreon.com/Steebee Weebee. We also our new patrons this week are Alex Couture, Chris Gatterson, and Mike Mofet. There's a website attached to this. It's at www.steebeeweebeshow.com. Instagram /QUANGOU. I'm working on an EP right now called Ode to My Pops. It's halfway done. My other albums are at SteebieWeebieBandcamp.com. And, dude, we're going to get some music videos going, too. Directed by Craig.
Fuck yeah.
All right, so stay around for that. There's no Little Ray's World coming up because I'm focusing on the album. So I'm going to get back to it, but let me finish the EP first. There's more content on the channel, vlogs, puzzles, clips that Ren...
Wait, puzzles? You got puzzles?
We have two puzzle... We'll talk about it after. The two puzzle videos, clips, Steebee on the Street EPO box videos. We're looking... If you like the puzzle videos... There's two of them, and you want to send your own puzzles for me to try to solve, send all your puzzles or packages for Steebee's P.O. Box to 1425 North Cherokee Avenue, P.O. Box 1391, L.A., California, 90093. Support all of the affiliated homies podcasts, Lost Go Projects, Necro Electric, Riffin' with Griffin, WFE, and what's your sticker show called?
The Sticker Album on YouTube. Please subscribe. I love you.
The Sticker Album on YouTube. Dude, it was an honor.
Please.
All right, no Little Rays this week.